Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Jackass Retro. My name is Matt, and it's Thursday, which means it's time for our twice a week What Sold in Postcards. Today we'll be covering Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's the 8th, 9th, and 10th of November. And in that time, we sold 48 postcards. Not too bad. Definitely up from the same period last week. Total for $395, and that's an average of $8.22 per card. Not bad at all. So we've got a lot of cards to get through. Let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, first up, this is a linen postcard. You can tell by the texture if you're new here. If you are new, I'll be having a few videos coming out starting at the beginning of next week that will really be an introductory to selling postcards on eBay and other sites. So we'll be doing probably a series of at least 4 or 5 videos, and keep an eye out for those. Those will be starting up soon. So this is a linen postcard, obviously from around 1940s. We know that just by the era and the postmark. Check that out. In general, churches do sell. They're one of those content areas that can do sometimes pretty well, sometimes extremely well. In this case, I'd say above average. It sold for $8.95 plus shipping, even considering all the little condition issues here. This goes to show as well that whether or not there's postage or writing on the card doesn't matter when it comes to a card's value or desirability in this niche. Next up, a Honest John comic. We had one of these last week. Nice kind of booby joke. Gotta love the booby jokes. Read it, sailor. There's no coconuts except this. They called the boobs coconuts. See what they did there? Absolutely hilarious. Where do they come up with this stuff? At one point, only a quarter. I sold mine for $6.95. Most of my Chrome comic postcards go for that amount. $6.95 plus shipping. Here we've got a resident of C.A. Pippin in Ozark, Alabama. Probably the date that they visited, 1937 is my guess. Nice 5 and dime cent. So this is one of those where the publisher, if you can fit it in, if you can see over here, Thomas 5 and 10 cent company. One of the more or less common publishers, or drugstore publishers, 5 and dime publishers, grocery store publishers, local small publishers where you're probably not going to see a lot of their postcards out in circulation. If you're able to, try to get those publishers into your subject lines, and that can help you sell a card. So this one here sold for $34.95 plus shipping. Oops. Trying to make my zoom a little bit bigger so I can read these numbers. Losing my eyesight. I'm getting old. All right, moving on. Next up, Stockton Harbor in San Joaquin County, California. Really cool looking card, right? This was up for a little while. This, I believe, came from this came from the collection from Goodwill Auction, I believe. Either that or the one I bought from a West Coast auction company. Really cool. We've got steamships coming down the canal or the harbor here. Hustle and bustle of the lumber port here. Just a neat looking card. So this is around 1900, 1910. Paddle boats, all of that. This one sold for $17.95 plus shipping. Wabash College in Crawfordsville, Indiana. Took an offer on this one. This is an undivided back. This came from the collection Mr. Herbert Love, as we see. $10 plus shipping. This is a nice place to spend the evening in the good old summertime. From Will. Thanks, Will. All right, this and the next two cards all went to the same customer. You might remember a couple of months back, there was right around graduation time, selling a lot of University of Cincinnati cards, and looks like somebody decided to come back and pick up a few more. So here we have the University of Cincinnati Tower of the Student Union Building. It's a chrome postcard, unposted. The same buyer also picked up this one, which is the Alfonso Taft Hall. And they also picked up this one, which is the Tangman University Center. So all three of these, University of Cincinnati. This one was the most valuable of them. I believe this one was $14.95 listed. $17.95, my mistake. But they purchased this one, and this one all together. And for those three, they paid a total of $25.38 plus shipping. Next up, this is a undivided back, very cool, patriotic Battle of Bunker Hill card. Here we go, from 1905. So older card, super cool piece of art. Copyright 1905, the Metropolitan News Company, who was an early publisher of postcards. This one went out on an offer sent to watchers for $11.96 plus shipping. Patriotic cards can do quite well. Anything depicting, George Washington or George Washington's birthday, definitely worth at least looking up. If you don't find anything, you usually can get some money out of it. Here we have Sumter Hospital in South Carolina. This one came from a lot very recently of South Carolina postcards. I suspect that the person who sold the postcards was a stamp collector. So most of the cards had stamps removed. So either of these were at one point in the hands of a stamp collector, or the person selling them was a stamp collector. In any case, this is a divided back postcard. This one sold for $14.95 plus shipping. Again, from the collection of Mr. Herbert Love, this is Hotel Du Bois in Du Bois, Pennsylvania. I believe I'm saying that right now. I've been learned as to how to pronounce Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Again, Mr. Herbert Love, 1909, $17.95 plus shipping. I am almost out of the Du Bois postcards that came in that lot, so it's done very well in a very popular location. We get a nice shady corner of Big Tree Grove in Santa Cruz, California. These I pulled out of my Big Ass Tree section of postcards in California. Yes, I have a section called Big Ass Trees under California. There's quite a few cards in it. This was one of them. Around 1910s, divided back. Nice coloring to it. Glosso series. Sold for $6.95 plus shipping. Got a real photo postcard here. This is the Oswegatchie River in New York, New York. Had to do a little bit of research on it to figure out what this was right here. It's the only clue I had to go on. Oswegatchie. This one, I think it says Oswegatchie Brook. But yeah, that's about all I had to go on. Cato, New York. So yeah, kind of hard on this one. This one I think I had up for $19.95 make offer. Somebody came in and offered me $14, and I was happy to take it. All right, this one's interesting because it's one of those cases where what's on the back of the postcard is probably what brings value more than what's on the front. Obviously, we've got some flowers here on the front, some pansies. greetings from Newmarket, New Jersey. Now, Newmarket, New Jersey is not a very common place where you're going to see a lot of postcards from. There's a good number out there, but it's not like in New York City or in Atlantic City, right? But on the back, we have this, which essentially is a advertising sort of salesman sample postcard. It has a little blurb on the back about the kinds of postcards they sell, and this is a sample of their greeting postcards from gold, bronze, which they furnish. So in assorted designs with words, greetings from, and the name of your town and state. The following prices: 12 for a quarter, 12 for 25 cents. Wow. Or you could get 30 for 50 cents, 70 for $1, or 100 for $1.20. So, think about this. Look here. The most really you could buy, or they're pushing really, is 100 postcards. So it's reasonable to think there's probably not more than 100 of these postcards in existence. So we can pretty much see the rarity right there. So yeah, this is to the postmaster of Rockview, North Carolina, even though it's a New Jersey postcard, but still doesn't really matter. I got a few of these salesman samples recently. I think the person who had the collection actually was related to or friends with the postmaster in Rockview, North Carolina, because most of this other samples also came from Rockview. So I've had a few of these before, and the salesman sample postcards have always done pretty well for me. I listed this one at $19.95 plus shipping. Took an offer for $15 plus shipping. Or actually, I had somebody come in and offer $8, and we went back and forth a few times, and I basically let him know I'm not going to go lower than 15 at this point in time, because it was within a couple of days of listing it. So here we have much more modern. Again, Klein's Corner Restaurant in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay, Albuquerque is one of those places. I've now spelled it 20, 30 times. I always have to check my spelling. And every time I see Albuquerque, I always think of Looney Tunes when they're like, Albuquerque, right? I can't, my brain just goes there every time. So here's Klein's Corners in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Here we go. Not big money, but still kind of neat. $2.95. These big signs. People love these big signs. Here we've got Canyon Creek Falls at Solduck Hot Springs, Washington. That's actually not too far from me. It's in the Olympic National Rainforest. There's some hot springs nearby, the Solduck Hot Springs, and I've been there a number of times. Beautiful. And yeah, waterfall, $3.56. You almost can't tell what it is. It just looks like a big white line in the darkness. But hey, look at that, $3.56. Here's a scene on the Oregon and Northern Railway. That's the zoom in. That's what the whole thing looked like. So I just was like, yeah, this is how you need. Really nice contrast in this one. Definition of this rock and the coloring. It's just again a neat look to the card. Vanishing point perspective of the railroad tracks as they go into the tunnel. It's a Clifford Postcard Company. I think it's Clifford or Gifford. Yeah. This one here went out for $4.95 plus shipping. I've sold many of these. This is the home of the Cliff Dwellers, Pueblo of Santa Clara, New Mexico. This was up for a very short amount of time. So my scanner sometimes get clips off these corners when it's doing the scan. I don't know why that is. It's not a cleaning thing. I don't know what it is, but it did it on this one. This sold very, very quickly. And I think, no, is this the one that sold that? I don't think that actually this one sold that fast. In any case, it got interesting postmark, the Los Angeles, California transit clerk here from 1908. So that's always something to look out for. I've been sort of getting into the postmarks on these things a little bit more recently. And yeah, this one here sold for $4.95 plus shipping. Canadian postcard. Obviously, trains and railways always do well. This is the viaduct at Lethbridge, Alberta. 370 feet above the ground, but a length of 5,327 feet. That's, what, almost 2 miles? Super cool. So railways always sell Canada or anywhere. This one I sold for $2.95 plus shipping. And this is a, I don't think this is linen. This is just before linen era. St. Catherine's Chapel, White Beach, Massachusetts. Now, just in time flipping, thought it would be really funny when I bought a bunch of postcards from him to send me, oh, I don't know, 400 of this card. So I've got 400 of this card. This is the first one to sell, but I got $8.95 for it. So joke's on him. This is a Chrome era black and white. Merrimack Postcard Company. If you would like a copy of this card, you can send $8.95 to Jackass Retro. And I'll be happy to send you one, and who knows? But you know what? Just, for this video only, with discount code Jackass Retro, you can have 2 of these cards for $8.95 plus shipping. All right. This here is Chester, New Jersey, Larison's Turkey Farm dining room interior. Love the Tiffany lamps all hanging. The interior of this reminds me of the old spaghetti factory they used to have here in Seattle that had a very similar decor on the inside with all these old Tiffany lamps with the hanging crystals and prisms. This one here sold for $2.95 plus shipping. It's a chrome postcard, unposted, and I've got 2 more. Yeah, this one's interesting. I mean, obviously, this is 1950s, right? Probably not a picture that anyone would want to take nowadays, for many reasons. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. $2.95 plus shipping, and I think I priced it much lower than market just because I didn't want it around right now. So there you go. All right, we've got a nice artist view. This is the J. Lubin Hotel. Oh, sorry, pardon me. Artist is J. Lubin. Artist sign. You can see the signature way down here in this red blotch. This is the Hotel Statler in Detroit, Michigan. Sort of similar to that hotel we had last week. It's a chrome era postcard, or linen era postcard, but it's not linen. It's actually on card. Again, beautiful lithograph process, just a neat looking card. To send out an offer to watchers, $3.56 plus shipping. This one sold very quickly. This is a campus scene at Furman University, showing Student Center and Gear Hall in Greenville, South Carolina. There was a bunch out there, none sold. I went cheaper than the rest. Sent out an offer, somebody bought it, $2.66 plus shipping, and I am happy with that. bunch of stuff here, blah, blah, blah. I will send you some of those pictures I took in the evening, etc. All right. Monterey, California. This one took a little while. This is the surf along the 17-mile drive, unposted, completely blank, nice condition. It was up for just $2.95. I sent out an offer. Somebody took it. $2.51 plus shipping. Here is Magnolia Inn in Aiken, South Carolina. I think I mentioned last week or last video, Aiken, South Carolina. Definitely, I think one of those places to look out for if you've got a less common card. This one is the Magnolia Inn. I couldn't find another one of this exact view of it, so I listed mine up at $20 plus $1 shipping. Somebody snagged it the night that I listed it. Here is the auditorium in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. White border era. Oh, and that is not correct. It is a linen era. Easy to make that mistake. Unposted, even though there's a stamp on it. I mean, you could say it's in deontology terms. This is not a posted postcard. Just it is posted because somebody put postage on it, but it has not been sent through the mail, so it's unposted. All right. Anyways, moving on. Auditorium sold for $2.95 plus shipping. Sumter County Courthouse in Sumter, South Carolina. We've got a lot of South Carolina been selling because I listed a bunch of it recently. This one here is I believe it's Graycraft. Yep, Graycraft. That's another one that if you can get it into your title, another publisher, there are quite a few collectors out there for these Graycraft cards. So they're an early, I would say early Chrome era postcards. So technically they're not linen, but they're 1940s, right? So they're similar to the chromatic process, except they're black and white. So when I list these, I list them as Chrome era, even though they're, early on the Chrome side. Technically, Chrome, they say starts in 1939. This is, I would say, is a black and white Chrome postcard. I might be wrong in that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd be happy to know. Next, we've got an aerial view of the Main Street Pumpkin Show in Circleville, Ohio, 1968. We know that from the postmark. I love how it just there's more of this than there is of this. To Grandma from this. Looking west on the Main Street, the giant display of pumpkins attracts thousands of people to the annual October event. Well, we missed it. But hey, look at all them pumpkins. This one here sold for $3.95 plus shipping. This could have been somebody who just went to this. I'm sure it still goes on. So, they just got home from the Circleville, Ohio pumpkin show, and they're like, I need a postcard. And they bought this one. Here we have Aurora Borealis, or Aurora Borealis, as a friend of mine calls it. Yeah, the Northern Lights. Real photo postcard. Came from an Alaska postcard album. You can see that some of that paper is still on there. It doesn't seem to matter. I just, when this happens, when I got something like this, I usually knock a buck off the price and it still sells. Most people don't care. So yeah. No, that's not correct. $2.95 plus shipping. Here we got that corner issue again here, as we see. Delays Cabin Court Motel, Columbus, Ohio. Just a nice looking linen postcard. I've sold similar to this. I've sold Delays Cabin Court before. We'll just put it that way. $2.51 on an offer sent to watchers, plus the shipping. Really nice Yosemite postcard. This is an early linen. This came out of a travel log scrapbook. I had several of these similar to this in that book. I have not been able to find many similar to it, so this one's really nice. So this is Mirror Lake, and I believe that is, it's not El Capitan, but it's Mirror Lake in any case. $20.95 plus shipping. Uh, I play around with my prices from time to time, and this one shouldn't have gone over 20 bucks because I ended up paying $3 in shipping on a $21 card instead of $1 in shipping on a $21 card. So I actually lost an extra dollar by not paying attention, but whatever, it sold. Security and Benefit Association Hospital in Topeka, Kansas. I've got two of these. This is the first one to sell. Usually, when I have multi quantity of one, I will always put up the uh, less good condition postcard, and one person will always get a better condition, right? One person will get exactly the card that's pictured, and the other person will get an even better one that's pictured. So this is the least good one. Sold for $2.95 plus shipping. Flower beds and snowbanks and beautiful winter scene in California. I've got a section under my California postcards that's basically just says gardens, gazebos, bungalows, homes, and houses. And it's basically non-topographical California cards. It's topographical because it's California, but it doesn't give you anything beyond just California. So I can't figure out the city, but it is in California. We know that. So I put, bungalow houses, bungalows, ranch homes, stuff where isn't the city. It's just this California scene. So that's how I organize them once I list them. In this case, flower beds. This did come from the collection of Mr. Herbert Love. They're in Pasadena, California, for a couple of months. Sold this one here for $5.95 plus shipping. I really like motto postcards, and I've been enjoying them a lot more recently. Uh, this is Hot Air Shots. I'd like a little loving. Will you help me out? Kinda, yeah, you know, a little thirsty. Just gonna put it out there. Again, collection of Mr. Herbert Love. This one sold for $3.36 plus shipping. Another from the collection of Mr. Herbert Love. This is the Forest Inn Through the Woods in Eaglesmere, Pennsylvania. Sold for full asking price at $6.95. And again, from the collection of Mr. Herbert Love. Sweet Old Kentucky Home. So messed up the front. There we go. Got some folks on the porch singing I guess the motto song of the state. Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't necessarily classify this one as, uh, I mean, it's Black Americana, but this is not, I don't think, depicting any sort of you know, racist image. This is a picture from the time, right? It's not cartoonish at all. The song itself, Old Kentucky Home, you know, people can definitely have their own opinions about that song. So, happy to know your thoughts. Put them in the comments. This one sold for $5.95 plus shipping. Here is the Castle Shannon Incline Railway in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, I believe from the collection of Mr. Herbert Love. Divided back 1910. Not a super uncommon card or uncommon subject. Still very happy with the $4.95 plus shipping that I took for this. Here we have Heart of Tulsa, Oklahoma at night. Night views generally do quite well. Unposted postcard. This one's been up for a little bit, but still, I knew it would sell. $5.36 plus shipping. It sold on an offer sent to watchers. This one here is machine gun training soldiers at Van Dorn, Mississippi. Well, that's where the postmark is, right? It's a military postcard that apparently got in the hands of a young child after the fact. Down in Mississippi in the field, waiting for watching the. There we go. Hard to read this now. But these military postcards, I got most of them. This is World War II era. It's linen. Also, we can tell from the year on the postmark. Well, we can't see the year, but we know the era. So likely World War II. And, so there's a lot of history here. Photo from the Army Signal Corps. This came from a collection of largely military postcards I got about a year ago. And this one sold for $6.95 plus shipping. Here we have the Glenn Memorial Church campus in Atlanta, Georgia. Emory University. Really, really pretty linen postcard here. Unposted, just nice colors to it. This one here sold for $4.95 plus shipping. Lake Tahoe from the Nevada shore, or Nevada shore, depending on who you're talking to. I say Nevada, you say Nevada. All right. There we go. Nice linen postcard. Just a pretty postcard. These I've been selling these scenic linen Lake Tahoe postcards for about $5.95 a piece. They sell pretty consistently, one every couple of weeks at least. So you've probably seen plenty of these come up. I think we had one in the last video even. Reno, biggest little city in the world. There are a lot of variations on this postcard. The sign went through changes. That sometimes the biggest little city is white, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes the cars in the street are different, or the signs are different, or the Reno is different. At one point, it arced more with the sign here. The sign eventually got lit up differently. This is one of those things where we could really take a look at the history of this view through postcards. Super cool. Just look up Reno, Virginia Street, Reno sign postcard, and look at how many different views you get of this exact view. And it's just neat to be able to look it up. So $2.95 plus shipping. Kind of a unique one here. This is a corner window of the trim and glass room of the Keister School in Chicago. So this is a dressmaking school, I believe. Teaching window trimming. My mistake. Retail advertising, card writing, salesmanship, and store accounting. So these are like the fake windows you would learn to do your window trimming if that was the profession you wanted to go into. Just a sort of an oddball, unique one. There were others out there. It's not completely uncommon. This one sold for $3.36 plus shipping. Here we have the Dallas-Fort Worth Turnpike in the 1970s. Nice chrome postcard. I listed quite a few chrome postcards recently for the Dallas area. My Texas section just about tripled in size for my listed postcards in about 72 hours. So I'm about to list a whole bunch more. This one here sold for $5.36 plus shipping. Very nice one here. This is Troop D, the state police in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Number of police on horseback. White studio postcard, undivided back from 1906. Again, from the collection of Mr. Herbert Love. And I sold another one recently. It was actually a thumbnail a few videos back for the same Troop D Punxsutawney. And the person came and on this one offered me, I think $12 at first. And I, counter offered with 30. The last one of these that I sold, the last one that was similar content, sold for 35 at my full asking price. And I basically responded with, he countered again, and I responded with the same amount, $30. And I essentially explained to him, I'm like, this is, a desirable card, desirable content. I have sold another one from the same collection of Troop D State Police for $35. I'm not. This has been up for about a month. I'm not going to go less than $30 on this. And then they came back and bought it for $30 plus shipping. So sometimes if you know you got something good, you got to stand tall on your price. And it's one of those cases where I think I could have probably even got more than 35 for it. So I'm not going to go below 30. Anyways, we've got a couple of cards left. So if you made it this far, let me know in the comments. Thank you all very much for watching. Remember, there's some postcard shows coming up here next weekend and the weekend after that. If you're going, good luck in your sourcing or your learning or your finding. And make sure you send me a postcard while you're there. So last two cards here, we have the Navajo Court in Cortez, Colorado. Nice sort of adobe looking houses, interesting motel. Again, motels, especially with signs, and this is kind of a more interesting one with some interesting architecture. Not necessarily the highest of value, but still very happy. I had this up at $4.95. Took an offer for $4 and, pardon me, sent out an offer, probably 15% off for $4.46, and somebody took it. So very nice one. Then our last one, again, just another interesting card. So this is a World War I era. I would call this a sort of a propaganda postcard, definitely patriotic, borderline propaganda, right? So this is really put out to, published by the Commercial Color Type Company, Chicago, probably with some government money, is my guess. But agriculture holding up the flag. 48-star flag. I mean, definitely patriotic, right? Agriculture being the thing that holds up the rest of the country, which, there was a time really when that was true, and I think it's